How we doing, guys?
Awesome. Scott, why make the decision to go to Will right now, and what do you think how's he looked at practice?
We've had conversations, kind of as the season went on, about, Will playing. Obviously we think a lot of Will. That's why we, drafted him where we did. We've kind of been developing him all year. Like I kind of said last week, he's been ready to go if anything were to happen to Kyle since week 3. So I think it's just good for him to get out and play. We're excited about him going out and having some success.
What's been the biggest adjustment for him? Perry talked a little bit this week about cadence and commanding the huddle and things like that. I'm wondering if you can share some insight on what the biggest transition is for him moving into this role.
I think it's stuff that he's been practicing because he's been preparing himself. The issue in the NFL getting quarterbacks ready to play is you only have a limited amount of reps, and when you're playing one young quarterback, you're not gonna and he actually has to play. He's the guy you're gonna get ready to play. So the backup, whoever it is, he's got to kind of do that prep, with me on the side, or he just spend time on his own. Just now doing it with the team, has been the adjustment, but it's been smooth. I mean, Will's a professional. He's prepared. So he's been ready to go, and practice is really, it seems like it hasn't changed at all.
What have you seen from Will, as you've been working with him on the side throughout the year? What have you seen from him, his development since he came in?
Will's got a good personality. He's a real laid-back guy. He's not going to get too high, get too low. Just kind of takes it all in, and just been very, business-like professional preparing. So, I feel confident with him. I felt confident with him all season had he needed to play. Now we'll get to see.
Scott, he obviously was able to make really big plays and big moments in college at a high level. What do you need to see from him to kind of guys like that to translate it when the lights come on in the pro game?
The biggest thing I talk to these guys all the time about is it's just football, and obviously everybody, it's bigger, faster, stronger, all that kind of stuff. But it's the game he's been playing his whole life. I want him to feel comfortable and really just run our offense. There's going to be opportunities throughout the game for him to throw the ball down the field. He needs to take advantage of those opportunities. There's going to be times where he's got to get the ball in his hand, check it down, whatever. The biggest thing for him is just to run and execute our offense over the course of 4 quarters.
Scott, last week you talked about the traditional development and how you thought he was close to being ready. What was it over the course of the week that was that final step that gave you the confidence that he is now ready?
I can't say if it's just one thing. It's just kind of conversations that we had where, he's looked good at practice. He's been great going through the offense, talking to me, throughout the course of a few weeks. And we just felt, hey, let's get him out there and have him play.
How's your comfort level coming along as play caller on a weekly basis? This will be your 3rd week.
Yeah, I felt good. Every week's different. Every team defensively is going to give you a different set of challenges, whether it's personnel, scheme. So you're never going to feel comfortable, I don't think. I don't know, maybe. But just, the process I felt has been great just for the last 2 weeks. I think I did probably feel a little more comfortable this week just because I've done it before, going in the second game. But I felt good.
Do you think having yourself down on the sidelines will be a good addition for Will as opposed to an offensive coordinator in the booth?
Yeah, I think it'll just be kind of what he's been used to. Even though hasn't been playing, he's been down there. He's been a part of all the conversations on the sideline between series. So I think that's just what and I think he had the same situation when he was in college, I think, with the coordinator on the sideline.
He had some preseason struggles. What specifically would you like to see him improve at, and what does he need to improve?
The preseason's tough because you're playing with a different set of guys. You don't really know who you're playing against. You're not game planning too much. I thought he got better. His best game of the preseason was the 4th game. I think he threw for close to 200 yards in about a quarter and a half. So it's just all about making quick decisions, reading the defense, taking what's there, and not trying to press, for him.
Hey, Scott, obviously you want to put your best foot forward during this time as well, being evaluated in a lot of areas. Has that been tough to kind of walk that line with also having to change the game plans mid-game when you guys have to play from a deficit?
I think that's just part of doing it. We'd like to score more early and not put ourselves in that situation. We've had some turnovers. Really, that's been the issue for us in the last 2 games. I think that's just part of it. I try not to think too much about it. I think we did a lot of things. I tried to stay pretty patient this past game, and then at a certain point you just can't anymore.
Can you take us back to kind of pre-draft process with Will? was there a couple moments or a couple things you saw on film where you were, felt pretty good about him?
Yeah, I mean, you do a lot of when the evaluation pre-draft. The number one thing is just you watch him play on film, okay? And he made a lot of plays, made a lot of throws down the field. And then you try to spend time with these guys individually. And, we got around him and just felt comfortable with the type of person he is. I talked about his demeanor. This game's hard and this league is hard. And if you're going to react to every little thing that happens, you got no chance of making it. So you kind of got to, stay even keeled. And that's just the type of person he is. So that, that attracted us to him as well. And then, he was able to be there when we felt comfortable taking him.
What were your combine, Senior Bowl? How many times did you actually get to sit?
Talk to him at the combine. I just watched him practice one day at the Senior Bowl. And then, but the time when we went to go see him down, in Morgantown. That's when because the combine is just so. I mean, there's a million people going back and forth everywhere. The players, they're rushed, But when we got there, we went to dinner with them, spent some time with them in a meeting room, and then saw them at the pro day. And that's when you really try to get a feel for the player or the person and the player.
How much of the playbook is available to Will?
There's no limitations on the playbook. He's we're going to try to call the plays that work, and he'll execute them. So.
Scott, I think DJ Moore and even Coach Fuel mentioned the speed of the Colts defense, and you mentioned Will having to make quick decisions.
Yeah.
That adjustment from college to pro and just adjusting to that speed, how can you try and mimic that in practice, get him ready?
The quickest, the biggest parallel for that is going to be preseason. It's hard to get that game-like speed in practice. We had practices like that in training camp, but as the season goes on, you got the scout team trying to give those looks. He's going to have to just be ready to make the adjustment as the game starts, and we'll try to give him some things that have him get some success early. But that's part of just transitioning to playing, and you do as much as you can to try to help, but there's nothing like actually playing in the game.
DJ was saying it's kind of hard to get a handle on the wit of Grier.
As far as what do you?
Wit, his humor or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's kind of a quiet, dry sense of humor type of guy. So I don't know. I can't speak for DJ, but. Not really. No, I don't know. I can't explain it really.
How do you keep Kyle's confidence up while telling him this decision and just moving forward?
Kyle's been through this. He's been through this at different levels. He understands, this profession. And Kyle will be ready to go. I mean, he's been great all week. He's been great with Will. I mean, those two guys have become pretty close. We got a picture of them working at a camp together in North Carolina from like when they were both 14 or something. So they've known each other for a long time. It's funny nowadays, all these quarterbacks know each other. But Kyle's been great. Kyle's a great guy, great person, and he's there to support Will. He just wants our team to win, and if something happens, he's ready to go.
Scott, Perry said you guys had sort of targeted this Indy game a couple weeks ago as a possibility for Will. Why?
There were just a few conversations that we had. I think, as you get to this point in the season, sometimes it is a little easier to go and just go play on the road. It's kind of just you and the team, and it's kind of that us against the world mentality, and he can just go play, not worried about it. It's just kind of felt right going into this game. I can't tell you exactly the reason.
Felt like over the past couple of weeks, you're trying to get the ball into Curtis's hands in different ways than just kind of throwing it to Wickett's hand to get to him on the jet sweep. How has his kind of varied skill set as a playmaker made it easier or harder or just calling plays for him?
Yeah, I think, we have a lot of playmakers, and Curtis is one of them. And, I think Jordan talked about the other week where we've had some issues where we haven't connected with Curtis. And, he's a guy that when the ball's in his hands, he makes plays. So we're just trying to find different ways to do it and, try to keep the defense off balance as much as possible.
How much of a challenge is it with Will not having had a lot of reps with the first team and having to now go out there and play Sunday with just these 2 days of practice?
Well, he's got to draw, and this is really any backup player in the NFL. He's got to draw back on the reps from training camp. Now, the thing that Will has the advantage of is over OTAs and training camp, he did get reps with the first team because him and Kyle were competing to see who the backup was. So we were rotating those guys, and Cam would sit out every once in a while. So although it wasn't a ton, it's more than a normal guy would have in this situation. So he's got to draw back on those, and he's got to make the most of the reps he's got in practice this week.
What kinds of things? I know we talked about not wanting to put especially a young quarterback in harm's way, wanting to make sure that you can set him up to be successful. With the offensive line up and down as it has been, what kinds of things can you guys do early in terms of extra protections, things like that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we are going to try to do. I don't want to give away the game plan specifics, but you want to be balanced. You want to do all those things so they can't just pin their ears back and rush. A lot of it depends on the quarterback, though. He's got to go through his reads and get the ball out of his hands, and you hold the ball, you got to give up. You have a bigger chance of getting hit. So, but there's a lot of things, and hopefully you'll see him Sunday. You good? All right, thanks, guys.